was kind of just a grind for the first few innings. Looked like you're kind of fighting your slider too. That's been such a good pitch for you. Anything different with that pitch tonight that you didn't like? Or?
No, it actually felt pretty good, and I wondered that after the game too, and went back on video, and I thought it looked really good. So it crossed my mind too, but it felt good. The action was good. The ones that hit in the first, pretty much all their hits were on the edges, except for one, the weakest hit, which wasn't on the edge, so I'm not really worried about that. But I thought made good pitches that they hit.
Maybe they had something. Either they maybe saw something that they were able to pick it up. Or
maybe that was the plan, was going sights low on the slider. But like I said, the two hits in the first, the hard ones, were down, kind of painted down sliders. One 3-2 and one first pitch. So it's not like I'm throwing the ball on the plate in those counts. On 2-2 to Green, I took my shot back foot. He took, and then I threw a 3-2-1 really good spot. He hit it. Carpenter was first pitch. He hit it in a good spot too. So I'm not gonna ever shy away from first pitch contact. So everything I would take back. I don't know, maybe one pitch. Not really too worried about changing anything because they just hit good pitches. That's how it goes.
How tough is it to get into a rhythm when you are executing with location, but they are able to find a barrel to it and keep innings alive?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good battle, good fight over there. They got some good hitters, but I think you just got to trust yourself and not. I think there's a tendency to try to overcorrect in situations like that, and I'm kind of the opinion if you're making good pitches over the course of a game or season, you just live and die with that. And my slider's really, really good, and I threw it to good spots, so not really too worried about that. I will say the two that they hit in the first hard were the most verty sliders, so not as much depth. But again, there's really not a ton you can do about that. You really just throw the ball as hard as you can, and 99% of the time it does what I want it to do. And then a couple of them don't have as much depth, and that's just tough timing, I would say, but the location was good.
Is that also what the 10 strikeouts tell you, is that it was just a couple of bad pitches, or a couple of pitches that they got a hold of?
Yeah, I think so. A lot of those strikeouts came on the splitter too, which felt good, but I got swing and miss on the slider too. It's not like that pitch was not there. It's always a pitch I can count on. The fastball got above some barrels, so the stuff was fine. The location was fine. It's tough because you throw 90 pitches and they execute on 3 or 4 the same way that I did, and sometimes I win, sometimes they win, but I'm not going to try to overcorrect too much on a couple just good hits, good swings.
It did look like you used your curveball some too, but the splitter got really heavy. Do you think that teams have always thrown a lot of lefties at you, thinking that they have an advantage, but that splitter seems to really negate the lefties when you're executing it the way you want?
I thought that before the game too. I noticed a lot of lefties, but the splitter's been feeling good, so I knew we were going to go to that quite a bit, and thankfully I have a bunch of good options that I never want to shy away from throwing the slider. I have a ton of confidence in that, but if a team is looking for one pitch, the curve worked really well because I think they were looking slider down and it had more depth than they see spin out of the hand, and then the curveball keeps going. So we have different options to kind of fight back against any plan that they might have on the other side. It's just kind of a chess match going back and forth.
Dan said you pushed to go out again just to try and get, I mean, I'm sure you knew what happened yesterday. You want to get another inning, but they were kind of against it. I mean, the push and pull there, you understand obviously why they didn't want you to go back out this early in the season.
Yeah, definitely. I'm never going to ask to come out. I'm always going to fight for it, but they have the big picture in mind. I want to save the pen as much as I can. I felt like I was in a groove. I was going well. So if it wasn't second game of the season, I'm probably going back out there, but that's just how it goes when the pitch count gets run up a little bit.
In the third there, long inning, it looked like you had executed a pitch for a called strike 3, gets ruled a ball. How do you gather yourself after that?
Yeah, there's a couple close calls, but that's just how it goes in baseball, and Cal's such a good framer. I get fooled sometimes too out there, to be honest, but I think I have a pretty good between pitch routine, I think, of flushing things and you know, you have a second or two for any emotion that might come out, but then it's already on to the next pitch, and just really being external, finding a target and throwing it as fast as I can at the targets. Keep it pretty simple.
Excellent. Thank you.
Difficult one tonight. You know, Logan, I thought he pitched well for those 5 innings. You know, they got to him a little bit early, but, you know, 10 punchies in the 5 innings. You know, I thought he settled into a pretty good rhythm. Handed it over to the bullpen. Bullpen did another nice job tonight, kept the game where it was. We tried to sneak back in there in the 7th, but, you know, just couldn't get anything going offensively enough to push any more across.
When it comes to Logan, how impressive was it that he got you to that point in the game, given how many pitches he threw in the first 2?
Yeah, I mean, you know, and it was a night where we needed him to go deep, and you know, he really got us to where we needed to be, and you know, still wanted to go more. You know, he was determined to get us through 6, but you know, we were at a point there where we had to you know, do what we had to do, and but the bullpen, you know, stepped up and did their job again tonight, and kept it right where it was.
How tough is that balance, just with, you know, him finding a groove, but also, like, you know, maintaining the workload and everything at the early stages of the season?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, we're early on here, and we got to be realistic about where we're at, and so, you know, that was a big part of the decision. The competitor and him wanted to go out and keep going. But you know, again, when you have a bullpen that's been doing what these guys have been doing, it's, you know, you feel pretty good about giving the ball to them as well.
And was Mize doing anything to keep you guys off balance? You know, you got the one hit, and then just didn't seem like they squared up a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he seemed to be moving it around, and you know, location was pretty good tonight, and just kept us from mounting anything. You know, we did, again, hit a couple balls hard at timely times, or at timely points in the game. You know, they were able to make a play and kind of shut things down. But, yeah, I mean, we just weren't able to get much going offensively.
With Logan, how unusual is it to finish with those 10 strikeouts, again, given the number of pitches it seemed like it took him to find a rhythm?
Yeah, you know, that's what's great about, you know, what's so tough about Logan is he's a tough competitor, and he's going to find a way. And tonight he did that, and you know, he found a way to get it done in that 5 innings, despite that first inning, and you know, that's what makes him so good.
You got a couple guys who throw really good splitters. Just what about Mize's tonight made it so hard to find the barrel to it?
Yeah, you know, splitters it's one of those pitches that's, you know, seemingly it's either on or off, and tonight he had a good one. You know, just weren't able to square it up. You know, for whatever reason, you know, he had it going to where he good location with it, kept it down, and just, you know, weren't able to stay on that pitch well enough to get a barrel to it.